Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 9 of Cups. Oh, so beautiful. This is the dream that keeps on dreaming. This is the happiness that keeps on happening. This is the life that keeps on living, right? This is abundance on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. This is everything. This is a life that you're living, right? It's not an object that you're hoping to attain. It's a way of life. This is your own Tao, right? The Tao of abundance, the way of abundance. Yeah, because we have 3 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 3 of Cups. 3 of Cups is the card of abundance, right? Of this overflowing kind of success and satisfaction and pleasure. This is a card of deep, deep satisfaction. Okay, and it's kind of saying that your days are going to be good. But even the long term, the sort of cosmic day, is going to be good as well. This is a card of sort of short-term desires and goals, the gratification, the fulfillment of the short-term stuff, but also the long-term stuff too. I find that you're a very optimistic person right now. I feel like you're very, I don't know, it brings a tear to my eye. I think this is so wonderful. Yeah, I feel like your energy is very positive. You probably, like other people, probably try to feed on your positive energy. So you got to be careful, right? Anybody that has this kind of, that it feels like you're a beacon, feels like you're a shining light in the darkness, people are going to be drawn to you. People are going to want to, can you give me a little for my cataracts, We're all in need of that light. Okay, and I think that you have an abundance of light within you right now. Let's put this card into some context. Let's see what is happening with this. What has got you so happy? What has got you so excited? And what can you do to sort of preserve that and protect yourself from these sort of energy vampires, right? Oh, look at that, 6 of Pentacles. I think the environment that you're in is very productive, very productive. Very supportive and encouraging, right? And you know what? Even the 6 of, look at that. The 6 of Pentacles even kind of looks like a light at the end of the tunnel, right? Got a Princess of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, the Star, and a 9 of Swords. Yuck, right? See that 9 of Swords? We cringe, but it's not bad. It's okay, because you're looking at it. You recognize it. You see it coming. Right? You see all of those energy vampires around. You see them coming. Not that they're around you. I'm not trying to scare you. But you have to recognize where danger is. You don't want to be oblivious. Right? It's part of you maintaining this wonderful, maintaining this. On either side, you have to be very careful. Right? If you are too passive, too yielding, too accepting, too sort of too tolerant, I guess. If you're inviting everybody in your house for coffee, you're going to let some bad people in. You're going to let some bad energy in. Okay? So this isn't, and really I think that these cards are kind of opposite in a way. This is a very martial card. This is a very sort of passive card, kind of the opposite of the Mars martial warlike energy. So even moving into the future, when we have these, when we have this awareness of the people around you that are sort of, threatening your harmony here, okay? Energies. I'm not going to say people, but energy coming in that's going to threaten your harmony. You deal harshly with them, with that energy, right? We've got to be careful with that too. We don't want to become the very thing that we're trying to sort of say no to, right? That negative energy, right? Whatever that is, or if it is manifesting as certain relationships or certain kinds of people, or, maybe people from your past showing up again, that sort of thing. Here we have, you've got a Prince of Cups. You got a Prince of Swords. We're going to get all court cards over here now. Tower, yeah. And, the High Priestess, yes. Yes, yes, yes. The High Priestess is telling you to trust your intuition, especially as, I think things are changing very quickly for you. I got to chill here. Because the High Priestess is showing us what's behind her, right? The High Priestess is card number 2 of the tarot. What's card number 3? Yeah, you're right, the Empress. Okay. The High Priestess is saying, trust me, follow me. I'll show you paradise. I'll show you the way to the land of your best life, your greatest life. I'll show you where you need to go, where all your troubles are over. I'll show you the big rock, Candy Mountain, okay, of the Empress energy. We have to trust. At the end of the day, we've got to trust in spirit. We've got to let the divine light in, and we've got to use our intuition to show us how things need to be changing now. And I think it's very important that we have the Nine of Swords and the Tower. Okay, the Tower is what we don't want, especially when we're over here, and this is so nice, and this feels so good. We don't want anything to change, but Spirit's saying, trust me, it gets better. But we've got to eliminate the bad actors. We got to get rid of the bad apples in our lives, okay? And then, of course, down here, we've got heart and mind, the fixed water and the fixed air, okay? And really, that's kind of, this is going to talk about your unwillingness to, maybe your unwillingness to sort of see these bad actors, or to admit. It's the need here. This is the need to admit that there are some bad actors here, that this situation is wonderful the way it is, okay? It's harmonious. It is almost perfect. But there's more potential to it. You know, this Princess of Pentacles down beneath the surface. You know that this, whatever is so good now, can be even better. Things are changing very fast. Things are going from good to holy, you know what, good. Okay, and we've got to be willing to sort of go through this next sort of growing pain. Okay, which I think is, dealing harshly with the negative energy that's around, but recognizing that there are some things that need to be, there are some obstacles that need to be pushed through. Okay, let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. It's going to go right here with Bubo, the mechanical owl, right on top there. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments down below. Let's use our intuition, right? That's what we're here for anyway. Let's look around the room here. Major, major, major. Major arcana is kind of saying you're above you're above this, right? That things are going upward. It's kind of like there's this trajectory of, it's a growth curve kind of thing, right? That's what it looks like to me. And Spirit's saying that, yeah, this is something that you're going to have to kind of, you're going to have to rise above a lot of the negative stuff that's still around in life. There's some things we got to deal with. I know it kind of feels like we have to push right through it, but I think that it's about rising above. Maybe it's not so much pushing through, but pushing up, right? Pushing upward. We've got the Hanged Man, which I think is, you paid your dues, right? The Hanged Man is a lot of suffering. The Hanged Man is kind of saying, look, I put myself in this position. I paid my dues. I've suffered. I knew what it would take. I've given what I had to give for this. And, that's how you've arrived at this. I mean, this is so good in the middle right here. This is perfect, or nearly perfect, right? The Hanged Man is your realization that, dang it, I've earned it, that you have suffered a lot for what you've achieved and what you have now. And the Hanged Man is kind of saying that you could have very easily given up. The things that you've been through in your life, you very easily, a lot of us probably would have just said, I can't take it anymore. I quit, throwing in the towel, waving the white flag or whatever you do. But you didn't do that. You persisted. You kept going. Right? You endured. Yeah. And we've got the Star card up here too, which is very important as the realization of your fate, of your destiny. Right? The Star card asks us, who am I? And why am I here? Okay. And so when we're here in this very happy life, this very, when we're living this kind of a life, and I think this is a group or an environment that you're in that is very conducive to your growth and your health and your well-being. This is nice. Okay, very comfortable place to be. You got the right people around you, the right circumstances. But I think we're still sort of looking up. It kind of feels like we're looking up at the sky here, and we're looking at the star, and we're kind of saying, I know Spirit is showing more. I know Spirit wants more for me. I know that there's more out there. And the thing with the star is that it kind of is like we have this very distant goal way out here. It's a little star out in the night sky. I can sort of see it if I squint. I don't know what it is, but I know it's mine, And I think that's it right there. And boy, one day I'd like to get there. I'm going to enjoy what I have here, but one day, we have these higher aspirations. And I think it's sometimes easy to forget about those higher aspirations. When things get so good here where we are, we don't want to transcend, When we feel good with our life, when we're making money, we got friends, we're healthy, we can't think of what could possibly be better than this, But there is still that twinkle in the night sky that just says, this is your home. This is where you belong. So in a way, it's like you've arrived at this very luxurious castle, right? And you live there for years and years and years. You start to forget what your quest was. But there's always that something in the back of your mind that says, you've got a quest. You've got a quest. It's time to get back to the quest. Why would you then put your armor back on and go out into the painful world outside? Why would you leave this very comfortable place? Well, that's a very good question. I think most of us would not leave this. And I don't think that you're leaving this necessarily, but you're realizing that with more effort and, yes, more struggle, you can build on this. You can increase this. Okay? And I wonder even if this is us sort of in our wonderful, luxurious castle, completely just blissed out, not realizing, perhaps, that there are forces coming in that are sort of threatening this perfect environment. Yeah, and that we've got to, if we want to continue to thrive and even to expand and to reach even greater levels of abundance, we've got to be very ready for this. We've got to approach this with energy. We've got to be brave and go through this. okay, in order to transcend, in order to reach that star that I think know is out there, right? Maybe the mystery card will be the Sun card. So we have our major arcana, and of course Spirit is saying, look, the Empress is right behind me, you've just got to follow me, I'll lead you there. This is the High Priestess, this is that psychic energy, that intuition, that divine light, your spirit guide, whatever you want to call it, that is leading you through the darkness, leading you through this to get to the Empress. Okay? We don't have any fire here. Okay? The fire really is what we don't want. We don't want change. I want things to stay how they are because this is good. Okay? But because we're so used to this, that this now feels like luxury. This feels like perfection. But we know there are still things that we got to work on. Maybe this is a spiritual thing. Maybe this is something at work. Maybe this is something else, right? But it's this idea that I've already been through the ringer, I like where I'm at. I want to stay here. This is comfortable. But Spirit's kind of saying, look, there's still more that we have to do on our spiritual path. We have more karma to work out. There are more things that we've got to, deal with within ourselves. There are things we have to deal with in our relationships. There's more progress to be made. Okay? And the Nine of Swords is sort of like we're waking up to the realization that, oh, you mean I got to go back to work on Monday? We're waking up to that realization that, I can't stay in this blissed out state forever. It's almost someone in meditation, they achieve this spiritual experience, this experience of enlightening, right? This divine moment, this sort of, religious fervor or affect, and that spiritual experience, and then it sort of fades out, and it's like, okay, I got to go back to work. It's kind of like before enlightenment, carry water, chop wood. After enlightenment, carry water, chop wood. That's basically what we have here, the before and then the after. And of course, it's a Nine of Swords because we're waking up to the realization like, oh man, really? It's kind of like when you wake up from a really good dream and you really were hoping that this dream was real, but then you wake up and it's like, oh man, okay, I'll get up and get dressed, But the difference here is that this is not a dream, right? You have this Nine of Cups and this Six of Pentacles. I think you're in a very healthy situation right now, okay? But it doesn't mean that progress has stopped. It doesn't mean that there's nothing else to do. And I think if we stagnate, then we're going to be inviting trouble. We got the Princess of Pentacles underneath the surface. And I think that is really here because you know that this situation could be so much more. That, yeah, it's good now, right? We think of the Princess of Pentacles. What does the Princess of Pentacles represent? To me, it represents winter. Represents a land that is sort of barren, at least by appearances, sort of barren. There's no leaves on the trees. There's no crops growing. There's no flowers. It's cold. It's sort of empty. It's harsh. It's unforgiving, right? But we know that there's life underneath the surface. We know that in a little while, all the grass will come up, the flowers will come up, the birds will come back, and there'll be life again, right? So it's not that this is a dead landscape. No, it's just that there's more underneath the surface that's going to blossom here. And so it's kind of like it's this underlying awareness that you have that something's about to happen, that life is about to get really, really, truly, intensely amazing. And we think it's good now, right? We're here, and we have winter here. I like winter. It's got its benefits, And when you're in winter, sometimes it feels like it's always been this way. It's always been winter, It's always been snowy until the snow starts to melt and all the birds come back and the flowers start to grow and the grass starts to get green and grow again. And then we think, oh yeah, okay. And then it's the opposite is true too. We've been in summer for so long and warm weather for so long, we forget that there ever was snow. And then this is the realization, I think, with the Nine of Swords that, oh, okay, the seasons are changing again. This is the realization like, oh, winter really is coming, you know? And it's just sort of, it's par for the course. That's the way it works. And we know that it's going to continue. The cycles are going to continue, and we're going to keep getting closer and closer and closer to our star. We're going to continue following our path, trusting in the universe to bring us to that Empress energy. And this might be the feeling that you've been in a winter for so long, and you've adjusted to it, and you like it, and it's good. And winter is a very marvelous time. A lot of community, a lot of support and encouragement, with each other. It's kind of like when the conditions in the environment are really bad, everybody bands together, And so I kind of feel that's the Six of Pentacles. There's a strong sense of community right now. And maybe you've been in winter so long that we just yeah, this is it. I love this I love the winter vibes. I personally love it. I love getting together with family and friends. I love the holiday gatherings. I love it's so freezingly cold outside, but inside it's warm. It's full of life, And sometimes we forget life was ever any different, But then, of course, the Nine of Swords. Oh, yeah, okay. Snow's melting and the grass is growing up again. Let's talk about the path of the serpent. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free, doesn't cost anything. It supports the channel. I appreciate that. I have another channel, Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories. Go check that out as well. Your general energy is the Prince of Cups, fixed water energy. And what that means is that as far as our heart is concerned, as far as our feelings are concerned, this is it. This is all that ever was. This is all that ever will be. Right? This is the feeling that I love this time of year, and it's always been winter, and it's always been this feeling of family or community or connection, And it's always been this way. Right? It's a very fixed water energy. And of course, in the environment, we have the fixed air energy, which is sort of like, things are perfect, nothing will ever change. There's, nothing could ever go wrong, right? Things are perfect, and they always have been, they always will be. So it's the princes are sort of stuck in the present moment. And I know that sounds weird to say, but they're very focused on the present. Sometimes they forgot about the past. Sometimes they are not paying attention to the future, which means they don't remember the Hanged Man, and they're not anticipating the Nine of Swords. They just live here. And that's all that exists. For better or for worse, right? That's all that exists, which means that they're not seeing the opportunity of the Empress on the other side of this. They're not seeing the opportunity, the life that's underneath the surface here of how abundant things are going to get very soon. They're not paying attention to that. Right? So they're not able to prepare for that or to help to bring that about. Okay, nor are they prepared for winter. You think of somebody who just assumes, like we kind of do here right now, because we had a very strange summer. It started out very rainy, and then it just got really hot and humid, and it's been really warm. Even now, it's still pretty warm for this time of year, and so we start to forget that there is winter at all. I kind of don't remember what it's like to be in the snow. What's snow? This has always been this way. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's abundant. Everything is green. Everything is growing. There's animals everywhere and plants everywhere. It's just it's full of life. The world. What if I didn't think that winter was ever going to come? I would never go look for my gloves. I would never find my hats, my beanies I like to wear. I would be totally unprepared. I wouldn't have any food sort of stored away. I wouldn't have any way of getting my car out of the driveway, To be totally unprepared, we get caught off guard, it becomes a disaster. We have to prepare. We have to prepare for the good and the bad. And I think that's what's going on here. We have to remember the past, we have to anticipate the future, and the tower, change, abrupt change. It's kind of like waking up one day and it's like, oh, everything's frozen, there's snow everywhere. Ooh, okay. How am I going to respond to that? You know, if we've planned, if we already have systems in place, it's not a big deal, right? Then in that case, the tower isn't so disruptive. The tower isn't causing such casualties, such like collateral damage. You know, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, winter's here. I'm already ready for it. Let's go. You know, and the converse is true too. That if we've adjusted to winter, then suddenly it's 90 degrees outside. Well, I don't need my parka and my beanie and my gloves. We're going to have to adapt to that. What may feel like a very sudden change, where one moment it's freezing, the next an hour later, it's completely the opposite, which does happen here, incidentally. I don't know if it happens where you are, but that's sort of the abrupt change. But when we're on the path of the dove, we don't want the change, because again, we kind of feel like we forgot past and future. This is all that exists, and I am just working this path here. And I don't want change. I don't want the abrupt change. I don't want anything to come and disrupt this. Nothing will. It's almost like we're ignoring that tower. We're ignoring the past and the future because we don't want the tower. When we get over here and we realize that, hey, I've been very focused on the present. I haven't been appreciating the lessons from the past, and I need to really prepare for the future. Then we realize, okay, we need change. We need to continue leveling up. We need to continue striving forward, because the high priestess is showing us the way to the empress. But if we're not paying attention, we're not going to see that doorway. We're not going to see that path. We're going to stay in this cycle of the seasons that we're in, but we're not really making any progress anywhere. Okay. So anyway, I think things are changing rather quickly for you, and I think you need to be prepared for those changes. I think the changes are going to be good, positive changes toward more prosperity, but it's going to be disruptive if you're not ready for it. Okay, it may feel as if it's a disaster. It may feel like a crisis. It may feel like it's very unwanted, because we weren't ready to go from winter to summer or summer to winter like that. But if we're prepared, then it's not so disruptive. It doesn't really catch us off guard. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. I want this to be an indication of that Empress energy at the end, that this situation is evolving from a Princess of Pentacles into an Empress energy. But at the very least, we have, if you're following your instinct, you're following your starlight, you know that this Princess of Pentacles is going to change into the Empress behind there. I'm hoping this is the Empress, but we'll see. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. It's a Knight of Wands. Fire on fire. This is someone who's looking at the future and anticipating what they're going to have to do to deal with the future. For good or bad, the good things and the bad things, right? The challenges that we'll face on our path to paradise, on our path to the Big Rock Candy Mountain Empress card. All of the knights look at the future. Okay. And this is looking at the future and thinking, I'm going to be prepared. I might even over-prepare, right? Because you're looking at the future, and what are they seeing? The Ten of Wands. The knights are always looking at the tens, and it's the future state of things. And it's kind of saying, I know what this is going to require of me. I know how much energy I'm going to have to put into this to really make it work. You have to look at the future. I know it feels good now. We just want to be in the moment. Plan for the future. Things are going to start changing quickly, and you have to be ready for them. You have to already have your systems in place, okay? Because you know how much it's going to take. to deal with the changes and to push through them and get to that Empress energy. Yeah. Very interesting reading. I like this one. We're going to do an extended too. If you want to stick around for that, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Gemini Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. Subscribe to Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories as well. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.